Hey guys, just wanted to give a shout out to one of the sponsors of the show today, Past 1 Hour Heating and Air. Big thank you to those guys. Listen, if you're in Southern Illinois and you need service on your heating, your air conditioning, please give those guys a call. Listen, let's just be real. Let's just talk man to man for a minute. Some of you are going to spend more money on your pet than you are investing in yourself and being better. You don't believe me? Just go back and look through your transactions at your bank account. Some of you spend more on your hobby than you do on you becoming a better version of yourself, better person, better husband, better father, better citizen, better patriot. So let's just be real. You can do this if you want to do this. You can afford to do this if you want to do this. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Man Up Podcast. I'm your host, Terry Gwaltney, and today we're going to do things just a little bit different. We're going to go a little bit off script. We're a few weeks out from camp, and I wanted to answer some questions that I know that are rolling through some of the guys' minds that maybe are listening to the podcast today, and questions that we get feedback on as guys are inviting people to be a part of their units going into camp. We like to say that camp it could be that one weekend that you just never knew that you needed. It's interesting, if you put yourself out there in places that maybe are unique, sometimes maybe even uncomfortable for yourself intentionally, man, those are the kind of environments where we've seen where God just shows up. And I can tell you from personal experience, one word from God can change your life forever. And that's why we're passionate about this weekend. I can tell you I'm not a passionate camper, hiker. Do I enjoy the outdoors? Yeah, absolutely. Enjoy spending time with my kids, my grandkids, other guys that kind of run in my tribe. That's all fun. But to see transformation, to have purpose clarified in a guy's life, to see somebody come alive again with hope when they were just caught up in a mundane world, Monday through Friday, try to live it up on the weekend so I can survive another 5 days at work. To see that changed in guys, that's what camp's about. To see people that have struggled with lifelong addictions, carried hurts, to get released from that, to get hope, that not only does God love them right where they're at, but we're not there to judge them either. Camp's not some perfect place. It's not a museum with perfect people on display, far from it. I think camp is really more what church probably should be like. It's more of a healing place for a hurting world. We all show up with scars. Maybe some of us still have wounds. Maybe just some of us just have jacked up lives and jacked up stories where we came from, and we're trying to run from what we don't want to become, where we're really not happy with who we are. All of that culminates at camp around a fire, and guys walk away different. They walk away better husbands because they look at their role differently. They walk away becoming better fathers because they realize I need to give my kids what I wish I would have got maybe when I was growing up. Guys walk away with second chances. They realize, my life is full of failure, but I realized over these last couple of days that I'm not a failure. That's what camp's about. So you guys have questions. We have some answers. So I'm going to run through some of these. Some of them may seem kind of fun, but some of them are legitimate questions that guys have asked. And so we'll kind of bring some clarity to those today as camp's still filling up. I encourage you, I'll do this throughout the podcast today. You have an interest. You feel like you could use the kind of weekend that I've just described, you need to go immediately, hop on the Man Up Adventure Camp website and go get your ticket. Listen, let's just be real. Let's just talk man to man for a minute. Some of you are going to spend more money on your pet than you are investing in yourself and being better. You don't believe me? Just go back and look through your transactions at your bank account. Some of you spend more on your hobby than you do on you becoming a better version of yourself, a better person, better husband, better father, better citizen, better patriot. So let's just be real. You can do this if you want to do this. You can afford to do this if you want to do this. You have to see it as important and valuable, and I'm encouraging you to do it and do it right now because it can have a generational impact on your family. So some of the questions thought maybe would be helpful as you're going through your mind, maybe as the listener, we can help answer today. What if I don't know anybody at camp? Great question. Let me tell you a little bit about what camp looks like. Each camper is assigned to a unit. So the camp's broke down into 10 guys and less per campsite. So imagine a fire ring, a campsite, and no more than 10 guys. And in that group, there's an adventure captain that leads that group. And then he has 9 additional guys in his unit. You're just a guy hearing this podcast and you're in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I don't know anybody, but man, I think I need that weekend. Buy a ticket. You'll get put in a unit with some guys that you never met, but probably all came for the exact same reason. So you don't have to know anybody. We had guys that showed up last year. I wanted to be there. And they came knowing nobody and they left with friends for life. That's just how it works. Everything that we do during this time, you're going to do together. You're going to get outfitted. You're going to bring food. You're going to help set up camp. Any kind of problem solving. We're going to do it as a group in our unit. You'll be with good friends with your unit by the time this thing's over. So yeah, what if I don't know anybody? So what? You're going to meet some guys that are going to be there today. No different than a sport camp when you were growing up or the business meeting where you had to go and you didn't know anybody that was there, but you met that one person that you've kept in contact, or all the way back to your first day in grade school. Kind of the same concept. Question, what if I've never camped before? Great. This is going to be an adventure for you. Hopefully there'll be somebody else in your group that has, and they'll help walk you through it. But we kind of coordinate this. The adventure captain coordinates those other 9 guys, around, their skill set. So it's not a big deal. This trip is really about the adventure of the weekend. It's also about stretching you. It's designed to challenge you, to get you outside of your comfort zone, to inspire you over those 3 days. I mean, there's going to be a rocking band there underneath the big top tents. I mean, we're going to be throwing axes and we're going to have guys duking it out in these giant orb balls trying to knock each other out of the ring. We are going to have arm wrestling champ. I mean, there's going to be all that kind of stuff that makes you want to scratch, snort, and burp, like men do. But, man, there's going to be some times of inspiration. There's going to be some times of challenge. There's going to be some times of stretching. So you don't have to be Bear Grylls or you don't even have to own a tent. It really doesn't matter. You just need to go get that ticket and you need to be at camp. Sometimes it's just about being in the right place at the right time. And this is your time and this is the place. Don't make excuses. Well, I have to drink straight out of the creek or I'll have to pack water in. We do talk about this being a 3-day off-grid experience. And it is. But at the end of the day, we're in America. I mean, we can't really all be Bear Grylls. Nobody would show up. So we have giant hydro stations full of water that's already here. No, you don't have to pack your water in. We've got you covered there. How old do I need to be to attend the Man Up Adventure Camp? You need to be 18. Period. Just minimum of 18 years old. There's some transformative stage, I think, when somebody goes from 17 to 18 in the culture that we live in, and that's kind of what we've tried to adapt here. We know age doesn't necessarily mean maturity. Some kids just get mature faster, but the law of our state says you're an adult at 18. So Man Up Adventure Camp is an adults only, men only adventure, so you need to be 18. Well, how long is camp? Well, it's Friday through Sunday. And if you're in the whole time. Well, what does that mean? I can't get there till Saturday morning, and you probably need to readjust your schedule because it really is a shared experience that kind of builds on each other. And so you need to be here for the whole thing. If you're an adventure captain, you get early access on that Friday, 11 o'clock. If you're a part of the unit, your time is to be here at 3 o'clock. You'll meet your group, and then you'll hike in together. And then Sunday, we have you out of here no later than 12 o'clock on Sunday. So that's what your time commitment looks like. It's a no technology weekend too, guys. I know for some of you right now, you're developing a shake and a trimmer, but you'd be amazed at what happens when you're disconnected from an email and a phone, and what gets to replace that, the mental clarity that's going to come, the stillness of being able to hear God's voice, the ability for you to be able to make decisions without so many distractions that you've kind of been putting on hold. I don't know what to do here. I don't know if I should take that job. I don't know if we should move. I don't know where our kids should go to school. I don't even know whether it's time for me to start going back to church or should I change churches. You start moving a lot of the distractions that own every second of your day. It's amazing what can happen on that weekend as far as bringing clarity. What if I need to leave early? You're in it to win it. What does that mean? Don't leave early. Make sure I cover all the questions you guys. What if I don't go to church, or maybe I'm not a religious guy? It's not a Christian camp. It's not a Christian country club, I should say. It doesn't matter. You're still going to love it. There's going to be plenty of other guys there that are just like you. And the Man Up Camp obviously does include a very intentional spiritual content, but it's the kind of stuff that, guys, you can use Monday through Saturday, not just on Sunday. I promise you're going to get something out of it. Trust us. What's an adventure captain? It sounds like maybe I'd like to lead a group of my buddies, or maybe a group from my church. What does that look like? Well, again, each unit of 10 guys is led by one adventure captain. And so everybody gets a little journal when you come in for the weekend. The adventure captain gets his own. We have a pre-meeting with them, kind of help prep them. But this person is responsible for communicating with the unit leading up to camp. So adventure captain is going to help coordinate, like, okay, out of our 9 guys, who's going to bring what? We don't need 10 cast iron skillets. So, who's going to bring a cast iron skillet? How are we going to divvy up some of the shared cooking that we're going to do, around our campfire? Everybody may not need to bring a tent. So he kind of coordinates all that stuff leading up to it. And then he'll go through, a training session, after the registration actually closes. Here's a fun one. Well, I have to poop in the woods. Well, I guess you can if you want to. You can bring a shovel, dig a hole, grunt, bark at the moon, whatever you feel like you need to do. But if that's the manly thing to do. But we will have porta potties available for the rest of us, try to keep things clean. So yes, off grid, but not totally deep in the wilderness here. What if there's an emergency at home while I'm gone? Well, yes, you're not going to have your phones in there. There's one designated number that they can call. We have security, we have a medical team, we have everybody kind of on staff during the camp. So we can get you out, we can get word to you, you can get word to you. But what is an emergency? This weekend really is meant to disconnect from that technology that rules each and every one of our lives. And if you had to think twice about being away from your phone when I mentioned that earlier, then we're probably talking to you. There's probably an addiction there that is unhealthy. And so this is all designed to help try to fix that. Let's put it that way. So you're going to have a way for your family to reach out to you if there's a true emergency. But emergency doesn't mean that your dog keeps barking, or your wife can't find the remote, or the toilet just happens to be stopped up. Have an action plan for that back at home. They can deal with it, but there is a way for you to be able to be reached here. Listen, at the end of the day, this is not just 3 days for you to get away and leave childcare with your wife. Guys, when you go back, you're going to be a different dude. Your perspective is going to change. How you look at serving in your community and giving back, how you look at how well you're being a father, how you look at how you should be treating and serving your wife, all that changes. So it is an investment and a sacrifice for your whole family. But I promise you, when you go back, they're going to see and reap the rewards and the benefit of that. Can I bring a group from my church or men's ministry? Well, absolutely. You can register as a group. So when you go online, you can register as an individual, and we'll just put you in a camp. Or you can register knowing who your adventure captain is going to be, and it will ask you, and it'll put you automatically in their group. Now, you can't just sign up a group of 10. Every individual has to sign up, they're signing their own release form, and they're making their own commitment, and they're buying their own ticket. But absolutely, you can bring a group. Just can't be more than 10. If it's more than 10, it splits off into, a second group, have another adventure captain. You guys can camp side by side, but the whole thing is designed to be no more than 10 guys per unit. Hey, big shout out today to Biasing Music and Sound, one of our sponsors. Listen, if you need any kind of musical equipment, rental equipment, these guys will definitely take care of you. If you're anywhere in Southern Illinois, give these guys a call.
Hey guys, September 21st, 6:30, you're going to want to be at Legacy Farm. We are having Worship Under the Stars. That's with Renee, Stephen McWhirter. Even though it's a free event, you need to go on right now. Go on Brushfire, get your free ticket. That is the only way you're getting to the event. You're going to want to bring your lawn chairs, bring your blanket, bring your lawn chairs. Meet us out at Legacy Farm, September 21st for Worship Under the Stars. We want to see you there. Thanks for listening to the podcast.
What's the nearest airport? Well, we're in the middle of nowhere. God needs a map to find us. So there is no really, really close airport. But the nearest airports to base camp would be the Marion Municipal Airport. Evansville, Indiana, has a regional airport. It's going to be about an hour and 10 minutes from us. Marion's going to be about 45 minutes from us. Evansville's 82 miles away. Marion's 24. So you have to keep in mind, planning. You need to have to be here by, you need to be here at 3:00. And we're in, I think was it 4:30 or 5, Shane, on that day? 5:00. You need to be at your campsite with the fire kind of blazing. So you need to plan accordingly. You said, was there really guys that come in? I think our furthest guy last year came in from Nebraska. And so yes, there will be guys that will be coming in, from long distances. And so don't let the geographical location limit you from a weekend that literally could change your life. What if it rains or what if it snows? That's a common question. I mean, last year it was cool at night and guys were in T-shirts during the day. We moved the camp back a week earlier this year. You would think it would be a little bit warmer, but who knows? So what if it snows or rain? Well, if it snows, you're probably going to be cold and damp. We'll make snow angels. If it rains, probably going to get wet. That's just the reality. This is a men's deal. We're off grid. Having said all that, we do have giant tents outside that we can do stuff during the day, giant military tent that we call our MASH tent. And obviously you have tents there. So, we will endure and we will make it a memorable weekend if that happens. We'll also be praying that doesn't happen. Here's a common question. What if I sign up and then cancel at the last minute? Well, you're not going to be refunded after registration. So you need to realize that. If you cancel, someone's going to experience your adventure. We'll give your spot to someone else that's on a waiting list. But yeah, once you're in, it's a no refund after registration. So, make the decision, then make your commitment. What if I don't have a sleeping bag? What if I don't have a tent? This is another great part of being in a unit. You can borrow this stuff. You don't have to go out and buy it. Obviously you can go on Amazon, you can get it in the next day. But probably somebody has an extra sleeping bag. Be 2 guys in a tent. You can coordinate it all through your group. One of the things we did this year, legitimately for guys, maybe they're traveling long distance and they said, I don't have a tent and I don't have a sleeping bag. You literally can rent all that this year. We'll give you a white glove concierge experience. You say, I don't have a sleeping bag and I don't have a tent. You can show up, rent the stuff. We'll have the tent set up, the mattress on the ground and the sleeping bag there before you get here. So we've tried to eliminate almost any excuse. that a dude can come up with that actually needs to be here to see his life change for a weekend. Am I too old to attend? You're only as old as you feel. So if you can get here, you're going to enjoy the experience. Don't let all your years of experience keep you from coming. There's whippersnappers here too that need some of your wisdom. I think our oldest guy last year was early 70s. So, it's just interesting to have that unique mix of people and generations that get to know each other and kind of share stories. And you could be at the right place at the right time to speak a word of experience that could be transformational for maybe a guy that's in, sitting around a campfire in your group. Here's one. Do I have to be in top physical condition to enjoy the weekend? Oh my God, I hope not, or I would be miserable. No, you do not have to be. It doesn't matter if you hang out at the gym or a Krispy Kreme, you're going to have a blast. Trust me, we've had many couch potatoes come before you and they all survived. They all said they had the time of their lives. So don't let pushing off going to the gym keep you from coming and enjoying a weekend. Here's the big question. Well, what will I eat? Well, this is kind of interesting, and it's done by design as well. Food, of course, is more fun than fasting. So seriously, one of the things that we do is you're going to come in on a Friday evening, and your campsite is going to coordinating cooking something around the campfire on Friday evening. You may or not be a breakfast guy. There's nothing like coffee pot hammering over an open flame fire for coffee in the mornings. You'll do breakfast. And then there's events that we'll do during the day. And then lunch on Saturday is always prepared by our cooking team. And it'll be a lunch to remember. And then dinner Saturday night and breakfast the next day, that's coordinated around your unit too. And the reason that we did that is so many of the guys enjoyed the camaraderie and the shared experience of cooking around their campfire that they didn't want us to supply all the meals. So we just kind of did one on Saturday when we have a super busy day so everybody can participate without having to prep in the middle of the day. But the rest of that time is a shared experience. So you kind of design your menu amongst your group on who's going to bring what. Some guys will bring stuff that's pre-cooked and they heat it up. And we had guys last year, cooking steaks and baked potatoes, and the whole bit. And one of the fun things that we're doing this year is that our cooking team is actually going to be a judge. And on Saturday, they'll be going around and we'll give all the details, but they will do a sampling from each campsite. And then the campsite that wins, is going to win the travel trophy, and actually will win their championship rings for being the cooking champs this year. So that's going to be kind of fun. So that's kind of what it looks like, from the food standpoint. So I'm sure there's tons more questions. Shoot us an email. If you have those, reach out to us on Facebook. We'd love to answer any of those. There is a fact section, obviously, on our the Man Up Adventure Camp website. Has a lot of these questions on there permanently, so you can go back and reference them. But every guy has a story. And I want to talk about some of the reasons why, just quickly as I close this out today, on reasons why guys would want to come to the Man Up Adventure Camp, or why they come. Well, a lot of guys come to find their tribe. You ever feel like sometimes, it's easy for us, I think, as guys, more so than women, to kind of be loners, Some of us were taught, like, you need more money, you just need to work longer. You want a promotion, you just need to work harder so you can be recognized. You get knocked down, you need to dust yourself off and get yourself back up. You don't need to cry and whine. You need to go do something about it. You can make excuses or you can make progress, but you can't do both. Some of us, as guys, those are things that are very familiar to us. And some of those are so true in some moments and some seasons of our life. But then there's other seasons you don't need to be doing everything alone. And it's stupid to try to figure out everything by yourself. And bottom line, it's kind of lonely. And if I can learn from someone else that's already made a dumb mistake, I sure don't want to take the time to do the same dumb mistake myself. And so some guys come to find their tribe, find other guys maybe that are dealing with some of the same things. If I run around with people that are all 20 years older than me, there's going to be a lot of things I'm going to be able to glean from them. But if I'm also running around with some guys that are my same age, that have kids that are 2 years old, or keep me up all night, and a wife that's tired all the time and trying to juggle going back to work and trying to figure out who's, going to cook tonight and, who's going to have time to grocery shop and all that stuff. Sometimes I need some of the guys in my tribe that are like, what are you doing now to survive that? Because what I did 20 years ago is different than what somebody's doing now, because culture has changed so much. Technology has changed so much. So a lot of guys just come to find their tribe. Some guys come because they know I need to push my spiritual boundaries. I know I'm not stepping up and really being the spiritual leader in my home. Either nobody's doing it, or maybe I'm just kind of letting my wife do it, and I kind of go to church when she asks me, and I'll kind of do things. Things get really bad at home, but man, I need my spiritual boundaries pushed. Some guys come just to discover what their purpose is. There's more of a purpose in getting up and just going to work and trading my time for a paycheck, and then turn around and trading my paycheck for rent, food, car payments, and insurance, and the government. There's got to be more to it than that. So some guys come to find out, well, what is that more? What is it that I'm missing that causes me to be excited about getting up every day? Some guys come to move beyond a failure. Screwed up, made a poor decision. Could be a relationship decision. Could be a decision with your kids. Could have been a relationship with your spouse. Could have just been a dumb business decision. It doesn't matter. Failure all comes with pain, disappointment. Sometimes it even comes with shame. But those are some of the reasons why guys come. Like, I need to move beyond this failure. You can't live your life like that one movie that's been on pause for hours. You've got to move on to the next chapter. Some guys come because, listen, I want to leave a mark on my life, a mark in the earth with my life that can't be erased. I want to know 60 years from now that I made a difference while I was here. I know I'm just passing through, but I want there to be some kind of trace that I was on the earth, that what I did mattered, that my generation was better because I was there, that my family was better because they knew me. All different kinds of reasons why guys come to camp. Some guys will leave with greater clarity, with greater focus. Some leave with the hopes of more personal freedom in their life. Some are hoping that they're going to leave and be able to go back home and see their marriages changed, come closer with their sons, learn how to talk to their daughters, connect with them on a level that they've never been able to connect before. Some of them come because they want to see their families restored. You see, the Man Up Adventure Camp is a whole lot more than a destination. It could be a divine appointment for you. For many, it has been. For many this year, it will be. It could be a movement. It may be that thing that shakes you into a new reality, that causes you to wake up to where you're at, to appreciate what's around you, to realize maybe the runway in front of you is getting shorter because you're getting older. You need to pay a little bit more attention to what's really, really important in life. That's what the Man Up Adventure Camp is like. You may need a renewed sense of your identity. Who are you? Why are you valuable? Why would God love you so much? Some of us need to go to camp to figure out a new reality of who God is. Because see, some of us, maybe you grew up with just a jacked up dad and a jacked up family. And so when people start talking about the Father God, you don't have a good picture of him. A father to you is somebody that wasn't dependable, that was always gone, and hurt people, that always broke promises, couldn't be counted on. And we take that mindset now into our picture of Father God, camp will help reshape that for you. To understand what it is to be loved unconditionally, to be accepted when it's not based on how good your performance is, to believe in you because of who you are, not what you do. That's pretty powerful. That's pretty impactful. For some, it's just a place to get out of their comfort zone, create memories, have fun. But guys, your life can be changed through one single prayer at the MASH tent on the side of a hill next to the Shawnee National Forest. And you'll be able to look back to that moment in time where everything changed for you. That could be your story of camp. That's been others' stories. We need to be challenged. Camp is one of those things that can challenge you. I know sleeping outside or telling the guy across the fire how hard it is for you to quit your porn addiction or how you need to quit drinking so much, that's a challenge. But you have buddies that need to be here because that's some of their challenges, and you need to give them a chance to face that challenge, a real challenge, and overcome it. That's what the Man Up Adventure Camp's about. So I want to encourage you, October 25th through the 27th, this is where you need to be. At 3 o'clock, you need to be in a little place called Stoneford, Illinois, a place so small even God needs a map to find it. But I promise you, if you find your way here, God will single you out. And one word from God can change your life forever. Let me leave you with this thought. You owe it to your family to make sure that you don't let your trauma time travel. Because what doesn't get transformed in your life will get transferred to the next generation. And you owe it to make sure that you move past some of that pain, some of that hurt, some of that unforgiveness. Let it be transformed over this weekend so you don't just transfer that to the next generation and they have more baggage. We'll see you next time on the Man Up Podcast. Hey, Terry Gwaltney here from the Man Up Podcast. Listen, I just want to tell you how much we appreciate you supporting the podcast, listening to it. We hope it's adding a ton of value to your life. Also want to ask you to do us a favor. If you could like and share this podcast on wherever you consume your social media content, whether that be YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, we would appreciate it. It just helps us get the word out so we can help more people. And maybe you've never experienced the Man Up Adventure Camp that we do in October. You can check out our Facebook or our website, manup-camp.com. Once again, I want to thank you for listening to the Man Up Podcast, and we'll see you soon.